hey there. Is it the last couple of days to roll up to win?
I believe it's the last day.
No, 23rd's the last day.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
It's not the 23rd?
No, you got the weekend, my friend.
Okay.
It's the 21st today, but a couple more days, and then you won't have a chance to win $1,000 at Rakuten, or a Volkswagen ID bus, or 55-inch Samsung TV.
You know what I like about the roll up to win cups is the cup is always pointing up at the handsomest person in the room.
Oh, you see,
like that.
I like that.
I like that
that.
Don't shake your head, Drew.
That's bad.
It was very good.
Oh, wow.
You've only got 48 hours left to win the simple joy of a free coffee or even a donut, which is the best. And by the way, Steve has terrible donut taste.
Yep.
That's not true. I just like them all.
Old-fashioned plain is
I like
your
an
favorite?
plain. No.
He's right about the liking them all thing.
Well, yeah, that's
like
fair.
it.
I'm on
That's
Steve's
fair.
side.
Okay, I'll give him that. But old-fashioned plain? No. Doesn't even make the top 10.
Yeah, but it's a donut.
Come on.
I'm a sucker for a honey cruller.
There you go.
Crush honey cruller.
There you go.
They're so light.
That's-
They're borderline healthy.
They're so... Yeah.
It's like lettuce. It's so good for you.
Roll up to win. You only have until March 23rd, which is this coming Sunday. This is our game, Canada, so don't miss your chance at millions in prizes. Roll up to win on the Tim's app now. Rules apply. Canada only. No purchase necessary. Visit Tim's app for details. Let's start the show.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Oh, Drew doesn't know how to do it. He's not Maddie. He's not Maddie. Where's Maddie?
For anybody listening.
Wow.
For anybody listening. Drew did not do the thing where you ISO cam when the music says our names. Maddie does it every time, and we love her for it.
Wow.
And she's not here, and Drew didn't do it.
Man,
so
you know why?
screw Drew.
Because the Avs lost to the Leafs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hater.
That's why.
With Maddie, it's a woo. With Drew, it's a boo.
Drew is in here today. Alexander Ovechkin is within 7 goals. 7 goals of the record. And I want to start with this because I think we're leaving something really important out. Alexander Ovechkin, even when he passes this record, first off, I think it's going to happen before the end of March. I think that we were crazy to think that this is going to happen.
If he was Sidney Crosby, he would stop scoring goals.
What do you mean?
Well, because he's at 888. And Crosby is so
I like that.
What's the word I'm looking for? Superstitious.
Yeah.
That he would just stay there.
Yeah.
It's good luck to stay there. Just get nothing but assists for the next 2.5 years.
Yeah. No, that's smart. Here's the thing is that we're making a big deal of this, and Wayne Gretzky's going to go on the ice, and that's going to be great. But when Ovechkin scores that goal, he will still not be the most prolific goal scorer in NHL history.
Well, who's that?
Yeah, who's that?
Wayne Gretzky. Because Wayne Gretzky has 1,016 of them. And Ovechkin only has 960 of them.
I hate you a lot. I hate you a lot for that. And
What are you trying to say?
Well, I mean, I don't understand why we're not talking about playoff goals.
So
why are we not talking about playoff goals?
I said this was going to happen. He's going to break the record, and then it's going to be regular season and playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
And Gretzky has 1,016, and Ovechkin currently only has 960.
or goals on a goalie.
Oh, I wouldn't make it about. I'm not going to.
Oh, people are going to do it.
No, but I think Ovi's, I think they're like right there.
He's right there, but he's not there.
But I think he's going to pass that one. Like, I
No.
don't think that's an argument.
No, I know. But like he's going to pass all these milestones.
Yeah, but not the playoff one. Not the playoff regular season combined.
He'll get there.
You think?
I think he'll get there.
You think he's got 40 goals in the playoffs left in his career? 40?
Well,
45?
But no, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, he can do it in the regular season.
Oh, he can do it in the regular
Yeah,
season.
'cause you're
Yeah,
talking
because I'm
about
talking combined. So you
total
think he's got another... Okay.
Well,
Because that is, like, let's be honest.
It's not. It's not, though.
It's not?
No, because for the history of the sport, how have we all counted goal seasons? Oh, he has a 60-goal season because he had those in the regular season.
Well,
you're literally bending the argument to something we don't consider at this current moment.
But I would say that playoff goals are more important and harder to come by.
Well,
yeah, but that's not how we calculate these things.
It's
You can
bizarre.
believe that, but that's not.
You know,
how
Jesse,
we
the way I
calculate.
calculate a hat trick is 3 goals.
Like if somebody says, "Oh, he has a 50,"
Even if there's
season.
5.
If somebody says he has a 50-goal season, that's the regular season.
Yes.
And you know that. Are
No,
you aware of that,
he
or
does
are you going to
not.
pretend you don't know that?
No, well, Wayne never had a 50-goal season. He always surpassed it.
Yes.
So he's
so
never
you're gonna
actually
pretend
scored
you don't
50
know
goals.
that. All right.
So, just want to say.
What a bum.
But I do think Steve's right in that he's going to pass the playoff / regular season record, like the total goals record score. Because I think he'll stick around for another year.
He'll score some more goals in the playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm. He has those.
I mean, I assume playoffs next year.
And this season.
And regular season.
Like, he's not just going to get the record and then stop.
And
like,
then
right.
that's that.
So you got to add like another, 10 to what it is kind of at the end of it. Who knows?
It's going to be a fascinating race.
Yeah. And
No,
then
it's gonna be great.
15 in the playoffs. Well, 10 plus the 5, So he'll get there.
And it bears repeating, Wayne Gretzky had 9 goals in his final season.
Yeah.
9. What Ovechkin's doing at this age is stupid, preposterous.
It's also kind of criminal that the New York Rangers, with all the money they had and no cap, couldn't get him to the playoffs in his final season.
Oh my God.
It's kind of what happened to the Rangers in that late 90s span is kind of weird. Like,
They
it was a
went through
bizarro world.
a bad phase of, this name, right?
Yeah. Let's pay him.
Let's get old version of this name.
Yes. Yeah.
And hey, you remember that band you used to like? Well, we got it back together. Here's Mark Messier. And, is this the guy who guaranteed a win in Game 6? Well, it sure is the same. He has his license.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is he the same? Well, it's an interesting question. But I'm not sure I enjoy you asking.
I'm actually not going to be that difficult about it. I am just trying to get under people's skin. Ovechkin, but I thought this was interesting. Hayden and I were talking about it on the show, like the stream earlier this week. Gretzky is 1,016. Ovechkin has 960. Gordie Howe has 869. Who are the next two highest scoring players all time, regular season and playoffs?
Just NHL.
And they're tied.
Just NHL.
Mm-hmm. This is just fun trivia.
So, sorry, give me those names again.
Gretzky, Ovechkin, Howe.
Goodness gracious.
Messier.
Not Messier. That was my guess. I thought it was
I thought you
Messier.
played a lot of playoff games.
100%.
All those
Scored a lot of goals. I think he was
Oilers years. Yeah.
third all time in points in the NHL.
I don't know if Lemieux played enough. I'll say Lemieux. No,
Lemieux didn't even hit 1,000 games.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
he barely hit
crazy.
900.
Yeah.
But he scored so
1,723 points for Lemieux in 915
goals.
games. Yeah.
over 600 goals.
Yep.
And multiple insane playoff runs.
Who
Yager?
is it?
Yager is one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there was one more. And we're talking prolific goal scorers. We're talking
What's your guess, Drew?
I'm guessing Brendan Shanahan.
not Brendan Shanahan.
Oh, I
Good
was
guess.
going to say Gio Sakic.
Not Gio Sakic.
Not Gio.
No. One more guess, guys. Come on. We're like late 80s, early 90s, people were scoring goals in bunches. Crazy goals. GT Snow
Brett
Racer.
Hull?
Yes.
Hey, I said it before you said that.
Brett Hall.
There you go.
844. He and Yager, exact same amount of goals.
Wow.
Combined playoff.
My next guess was going to be Mikheyev, but
Oh, well,
that wouldn't have been right. So
You're Engvall.
Hey,
Alex Kerfoot.
since Drew's here, should we talk about the fact that the Leafs are now on a 3-game winning streak and one of those games happened against the Colorado Avalanche?
Yes, we should.
Wow, that's cool. And Drew was at that game. And what happened
sure
last year when Drew was at the Avalanche Leaf game? Was it? Oh, it was 3-0 Leafs. That's crazy.
Did the Leafs shut out the Avs last year?
Yeah, they did.
wow.
No, didn't they? That's what
No,
Andrade told
Drew
me.
just goes, no, they didn't.
The Avalanche were down 3-0, came back and won that game in Toronto.
That's what it was.
Oh, Adam, that's a bad miss. That is a tough
Like
miss.
hell, I'm going to look that up. I was trusting Nick Andrade on that one. Damn it, Nick. I shake my fist.
Because the last Avs game that I went to with you, the Leafs lost 2-1.
Oh.
And I saw this one, and I was like, yes.
Well, okay.
How does it feel?
So I had a friend at the game, and he was like, yeah. He's like, it was really quiet in there, and Leafs really were not very good, and the Avs were all over them, whatever. What were the actual takeaways from that game, guys? Because
Was the friend Drew? Or?
No. His name is not Drew. No,
Is your friend cool at parties?
No, he kind of. I was kind of shocked. I'm like, did we watch the same game? That seemed to me like two good teams, and especially in the third period, one good team cheating for offense and doing literally everything they could to try to tie that game up, and Joseph Woll just saying no.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, to me, that game wasn't the Avs simply overpowering the Leafs and one goalie saying no, but
It was a little in the third.
the goalie was the biggest factor. I thought the third period was probably the Leafs' best. They generated a bizarre amount of chances. They were able to weather an avalanche storm that they just weren't able to do a little, 2 weeks ago when we were at Alibi in London. They went head to head, the top lines.
They did,
like I wanted them to.
And what did you find?
Well, okay, I don't know exactly what the number matchup was for just those two. I thought they did a really good job.
Okay.
Matthews did a good job with McKinnon. I mean, a good job against McKinnon is him not scoring. And he got an assist. He still got an assist. Marner was very solid. Nyes has been a revelation this season at both ends of the ice. And McCabe and Tanev, tough night, but they made it through. And they made it. That's the most... I would love to know Drew's opinion on this. That's the most ordinary Cale Makar has ever looked to me. Like,
He didn't have a good game.
No, he got dangled by McCabe. He lost an edge against Marner. There was a play in the third period where Matthews took the puck off him like twice for a scoring chance. Like, I've never seen that happen to Makar.
I will say, as the resident Leafs hater at STPN, it was the best game I've ever seen Austin Matthews play. Live. Just his takeaways, the shots. Like, he controlled the game. At one point, it was like shots were like 39-20, and Matthews had 8 of the Leafs shots. So I think he was the most dominant player in that game, and he's rarely the most dominant player when McKinnon's on the ice.
That's Drew chirping, but he's right. Like, that's been my criticism. That was exactly what I said last show. I'm like, would it kill you to head into this game and be the better player against Nathan McKinnon? Right? Just listen, 4-10 nights for this head-to-head, and we're going to file that one under good enough. We're going to file that one under game-winning goal we will never see ever again.
Yeah, true. Very true.
And we'll file it under 2 points.
You know what made me really upset about that game is that game-winning goal. If that was the other way, if that happened to the Leafs, where a ref blocked the puck right to the guy who ended up scoring the snipe goal that Steven Lorenz had on the goaltender there. If that was the other way, that's as big as anything that happens this year in hockey, because everybody's using that moment to clown on the Leafs. But because it happened to the Avs and for the Leafs, it didn't get that kind of love. Nobody was dancing on the grave of the Avalanche or anything like that. It was just like, the refs are in the Leafs' pocket. It's like we never got that moment of being like on the other end of this stuff.
But do bad things happen? Like, because the Leafs have a clown car full of events beforehand leading up to that. I don't think the Avs do.
No, right? But we were on the other end of it this time.
I know, but that's like one time.
One time. I got a very niche question for Drew. Drew, if we were still doing dang-its, this week's $250,000, right?
Oh, easily. With the Sabres' own goal, too.
Exactly. Yeah. The Kelly Sutherland thing and the Sabres scoring on their own net, dang-its this week would be $250,000. Easily. I just lose my mind about both those things. If it happened against the Leafs, might push it to $300
million.
That's what I'm saying.
Playoffs, million.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why don't our fan base doesn't get this love?
Well, we can't. Like we're Darth Vader, right? Like, we can't. We simply can't. Like, you can't.
We're
give
Darth
us...
Vader without like being cool.
Well, have you seen stormtroopers aim? They can't aim, right? Like, we're the stormtroopers, right? Yes. It's the... How can you...
We're Wile E. Coyote.
The evil empire can't get like, oh, isn't that cute, going their way. Do you know what I mean?
Wile E. Coyote, he has a lot of advantages and an unlimited budget and still always fails.
Right.
Against the Roadrunner.
Jesse, after the game, you talked to Steven Lorenz about that goal. And for anybody that doesn't know what happened, there was the ref diving. The puck hits him. It goes to Steven Lorenz. He wires it home. It's shorthanded. It's beautiful. Jesse, what was Steven Lorenz like? Was he just kind of floating around the press area? Like,
what do you mean? Like,
just happy?
Yeah. He's such a good ball of energy. I asked him about being a kid who grew up rooting for the Toronto Maple Leafs and getting the opportunity to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he's like, yeah, it's still like surreal. It's a job now, but I'm still giddy about like this is my hometown team and I get to play for this team and I get to score goals like that and jump into the glass, and you still feel like a kid at those moments. So I think he's such a cool Toronto Maple Leaf because we don't have the kids from Toronto who truly embrace being the Leafs fan. I think because he has his cup, like everything else on top of this is gravy for the rest of his career. He did it in Florida. Now he gets to play for his hometown team. He can just ride this out into the sunset and be the best Leaf ever in terms of like being the Toronto kid. And he's not even from Toronto technically. He's
from Waterloo.
Out in Waterloo.
Very publicly from Waterloo.
He grew up a Leafs fan, right? Out in Waterloo. Still same thing. Not from Toronto, but Leafs fan. But yeah, he's riding high.
I listen, I've alluded to this a few times this season. There's big fish to fry. The Nyes contract, the Tavares contract, the Marner contract. Brad Treliving could easily just get Steven Lorenz done. Just get it done. You know you want him to be a Leaf next season.
Yeah.
You know
want
he's
him to be
not
a Leaf forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know he's not going to cost an arm and a leg.
It can be like a Benoit or Philip Myers deal. Like it doesn't have to be crazy. Like it's
give him one of those weird, hey, do you want to be a fourth liner for us for like 5 years contracts?
What was the one Bergevin gave one out? Was it and it was and the other one the there was like a Glendening one, and then it was like which was like $1.5 million every year for 7 years or something like that.
Someone got 5 years? Was it Kyle Clifford or like Andy Andrioff or like the Kings gave one to like they're like we just like you and we want you to stick around for a long time. Ross Johnston getting 4 years from the Islanders for some reason.
Yep, absolutely. Weight room Ross, right?
Just big guy. Just give him one.
Speaking of Matthew Nyes, gentlemen, Matthew Nyes has hit something, and we're jumping between the Avs and the Rangers games here. Matthew Nyes has done something that has never happened. And this stat has been recorded for 25 years, 25 goals and 150 hits in one season.
No Leaf has ever done it.
No Leaf has ever done it. There are 2 other NHL players that have done it this year. One of them is Matthew Tkachuk, and the other one I have to pull it up, but it's pretty crazy. It's Matthew Tkachuk, and it is Tom Wilson. Sorry, Brady Tkachuk and Tom Wilson. I don't know why I said Matthew. My bad. I meant Brady.
There's 2.
There's 2.
You had a 50% chance to be.
That's like, listen, we grew up in an era where the advanced stats thing was coming up.
Listen,
and they
Leafs
would say
have probably done this before.
And they would say, but it's this hasn't been tracked, so they're tracking
exactly.
But what I think is interesting is that before we might have looked at that and gone, well, he doesn't have the puck very much. He's throwing all those hits.
Right.
But Matthew Nyes has been a breakout season.
City TV, baby, everywhere. He's absolutely everywhere. It's been a breakout season, both ends of the ice. He can snipe it the way he did last night against the Rangers. He can bang it in. He can tip it in, which is an art. He's such a good skater. He's become a pretty good penalty killer. He's become like a pretty good defensive player. His lapses are limited. He's taking, I don't know about fewer penalties. He set a very high bar to start his career. he like took a penalty every friggin' night. No, this is listen, Kyle Dubas's era as Leafs GM was spotty and controversial.
His what?
His era. But thank you, Jesse.
I still like that
throwback. No, I love it. He left the Leafs some crazy parting gifts. Nyes, that's a Wes Clark parting gift as well. Jake McCabe. That was like, that might have been one of his best NHL games last night against the Rangers. Like, unreal.
What's with him and being like an offensive force? Only for 2 games this year.
He plays with Chris Tanev.
Is that's the reason?
Well,
Tanev's got him jumping up in the rush and scoring goals.
The Rangers are not. The Leafs struggle with teams that forecheck the hell out of you, and we've seen that. The Rangers, they're just sort of, man. After the way they started the season, I was really rooting for like the story of the Rangers making the playoffs. Man, they just sort of show up.
I've been trying to say this for like a month now on this podcast that the Rangers suck.
I don't know about.
I still think they're going to make it.
They're very, very mediocre,
Yeah,
but they don't have a compete level that can justify like the talent on the roster. Like you watch continually night after night, the guys give up on playing hockey by the end of the game, and they're really good at not capitalizing on opportunities. And if another team can just play decent hockey, there's no pushback in the Rangers. It hasn't been for like 3 months now.
I'm trying to think of a Mika Zibanejad play from last night.
No, it's non-existent.
Yeah.
Adam Fox has lost a lot of his shine this year. It's like
Adam Fox should be in the conversation of the Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. Like that was the
he was for a time.
He won a Norris over both of those guys.
100%, and that's completely gone by the wayside. Keandre Miller looks like a shell of himself. Like he doesn't know how to play defense anymore. Like I don't know where that skill went.
He was late on the McMahon goal.
Yeah, and there was a turnover early on too. Like he hasn't been good. JT Miller's out there like the I just got here guy, so you can't blame him for anything.
He had a busy night.
He's running around doing a lot of stuff.
He's hitting, he's blocking.
He's trying his best. He's learning the office. You know, he's trying to figure out with HR how to get it set up on all the new systems there. Like he's the I just got here guy, so you can't really say anything about that. Kreider's broken. Trocheck's broken. Like there's not really redeemable qualities about the Rangers, and there hasn't been for a couple of months now.
That's a shame.
And Igor can't stand on his head and save the team. Yeah. Like he hasn't been that goalie. He can't score
for them.
Exactly, and he hasn't been that goalie since like the first month and a bit in the beginning of the season. They were really good. I think the Rangers got off to like what was it like?
They were like
6.
Yeah, they were killer.
They were awesome. Quick was 4-0 to start the year, or something ridiculous. And then that whole stretch in the fall, they were awful. And Igor's not going to save your ass. And I don't know.
Adam Fox, by the way, won a Norris Trophy 4 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
When you said that, I was like, yeah. Sorry, back up.
2021.
I didn't remember that he won a Norris. Like, I'm trying to...
And then you made me guess. You made me second guess myself. I'm like, shit, I thought he did. I better check. My memory's horrible.
We began this season with Alexei Lafreniere's big contract extension.
Yep.
And I was talking about how I loved it. Because I got to watch him in the playoffs, and there were some nights where there were some nights in the playoffs he was one of the only Rangers worth watching. And he carried them. And he's got 15 goals, 38 points in 70 games.
Fun thing to do there. Compare that with Capo Caco's production in Seattle.
Oh, let me look. I know it started really well. Has it continued really well? Let's go. 37. Oh, shit. Oh, they made a mistake, I think. 37. Oh, no. Okay, so he played 30 games with the Rangers, 4 goals, 10 assists for 14 points. Less than half a point a game. 37 games in Seattle, 7 goals, 16 assists, 23 points. Oh, dear.
It's bad.
Oh, no.
It's bad.
Oh, dear.
2 milestones passed last night, by the way, for the Leafs. So, okay.
It's a depressing reality for the New York Rangers right now.
Yeah. William Nylander, 600 points.
Hell yeah.
Tavares, 1,100 points. Same night.
The 68th player to ever hit that milestone.
William Nylander, 600 points, guys. What's your favorite point?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good question. I know he got it. I want to say he got at least 2 assists in Matthews' 4-goal game.
Mm-hmm. That's a good start.
Drew's shaking his head.
Wow. What is it, Drew?
We're talking regular season here.
Yeah.
His OT winner in Sweden is by far.
Hey,
Oh, my bad, Jesse. I'm sorry.
Jesse, what's yours?
The OT winner in Sweden.
Why, Jesse? Tell us about it.
It was the hometown kid coming home after he threw on a tank top to go on a talk show.
Yes.
For no good reason.
He's the star of the whole country for a week.
It was Sweden in November. He didn't need to wear that shirt.
What do you mean, no good reason? Have you seen the man?
Oh, well.
There's lots of reasons.
He is allergic to shirts.
Yes.
Every time I see him in the locker room, he's not wearing clothes.
He should be.
So that was my favorite goal because he doesn't have a postseason moment, I think, like a Tavares scoring the goal against Tampa.
Well, none of them do.
Yeah.
Because
He's
Tavares
scored
scored it.
some pretty big playoffs.
But there's not one where I'm like,
Yeah.
I point to that one because they had a big win or anything, because they don't have those. You know,
Yes.
all of any goal he would have scored would have ended in a series loss and depression. So I got to pick a cool regular season moment, and that's
It's like
It's sure would be nice to remember that if they hadn't lost the next game.
He tied Game 3 against Washington, and then the Leafs won in overtime. Oh, and then they lost the series. Well, he tied the game against Florida in Game 5, and then they lost in overtime.
Yeah.
Lost the series.
Yeah.
So the playoff moments, take those out except for JT. But yeah, that one in Sweden's really cool. You got to be there for that.
I did. Drew was yapping in my ear. That's why I forgot.
What was that like being there? We talked about the time, but your memories when he scored that goal.
So when we were talking about Pittsburgh, Nashville, the fact that they get to play in Stockholm, like everyone is very well aware of who the Swedes are in Sweden, and they got huge reaction. Lucas Raymond scored a goal. It got a bigger ovation than the other ones. William Nylander was on such a tear, such an unbelievable tear. And then to literally walk off a country. Like he walked off that tournament. Not tournament. It felt like one.
Regular season games.
Yeah, it was just 4 regular season games. It felt like some sort of tournament. But that event felt like it was handcrafted to end the way it did. And that's not how pro sports work. No. Anything could happen. Anyone can score. It could have been some fourth liner who happened to be out there and whatever, but it was William Nylander. It felt truly special. And there sometimes I've had the very good fortune in my life to be there for some games where you see the goal, you freak out, and then you realize who scored the goal, and you almost laugh. Willie, people are going to roll their eyes very heavily at this, but I'm only drawing from games that I've been to. Canada winning it in 2010.
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit, Canada won! And then a moment had to pass where I was like, and it was Crosby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, 4-nation face-off. Canada won! And it was McDavid.
Well, I had that reaction with Marner. Because all night at Boston Pizza, we spent the entire night. You spent the entire night shitting on Mitch Marner because that's your MO.
The chat did.
You hate
that's what you do.
And I
Mitch
read
Marner.
it.
And then Marner ended up scoring the winner in OT.
it was awesome.
And I didn't
And it was
realize
Marner.
I didn't realize it was Marner until like a minute after, because we just all celebrating. It's like, oh, Mitch did it after Steve was dumping on him all
I
night.
seem to remember you wearing a Sweden jersey during that overtime.
I don't remember. Look at the video I'm wearing. I'm not doing that.
That was some of my favorites.
Yeah, only look at the end of the video.
Don't look at it.
Are you missing out on your favorite show because it's not available in your region, or a blackout coffee, blackout hockey game?
We're going to San Jose in a couple days, and I might have NordVPN installed on my laptop so I can watch some Leaf games.
I'll be honest, I didn't understand what was happening.
I just said, like maybe there's a blackout and you just want to, watch the game and you can't. Anyway, grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/dangle. Get a huge, mega, monster discount.
Yar, that sounds excellent.
NordVPN plan, 4 additional months on top of that. So it's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, grab your exclusive NordVPN deal, nordvpn.com/dangle. Huge discount. So you get your NordVPN plan and 4 additional months completely risk-free, which is pretty cool. Check that out. The Leafs and the Panthers have the exact same amount of games played, exact same amount of wins, exact same amount of losses, and the exact same amount of OT losses.
Go away.
The only thing that has changed is their splits, where they're currently the Panthers are winning the season series, but there's 2 more games to go.
The tiebreak, because a lot of people are confused about this, tiebreak in the NHL is regulation wins.
There you go.
RW, the first category after points percentage, is the first tiebreaker. And the Panthers have 35, the Leafs have 34. That is why the Panthers are ahead right now.
So the Leafs moved back into first place for about 10 minutes, and then the Panthers won. And then the Leafs are now back in second place. The Lightning, who are 6-3-1 in their last 10, are just 2 points behind both teams with a game in hand. So
annoying.
It could happen that the Lightning win their next game and everybody pulls into a tie.
If the Lightning win their next game, they hop over the Leafs.
Oh, because they're
will have 35 regulation.
Well, they'd have to win it in regulation.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's so annoying.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
How is their goal differential plus 58?
They're good.
That is what it says.
They're good at hockey.
I forgot my glasses.
Their home record is ridiculous. 24-8-2. Lightning. On the road, they're 16-15-3.
So maybe get home ice advantage if you're going to play the Lightning.
It might be important for the Lightning to get that home ice advantage.
Well, I mean, that's a great example of it, though, right?
Yeah.
Like the Leafs are relatively even, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're pretty close to even.
Yeah.
Panthers too. If you end up being the team that plays the Lightning, oh shit. Yeah, home ice advantage sure matters a whole big bunch. Hey, Leafs had home ice advantage when they beat them.
Yep.
A lot of people forget that.
Yep.
If that game goes to Game 7 or series goes to Game 7, it would have been in Toronto. Fuck.
So the Leafs play the Predators on Saturday in a scheduled loss. No, I'm kidding. They should probably beat the Predators on Saturday. You're gonna need to do that.
The Preds are a fairly average to good team at home. They are unplayable on the road.
Yeah, 8-21-5 on the road.
They're horrible.
And by the way, the New York Rangers missed out on a primo opportunity to get back into the playoff picture yesterday because the Montreal Canadiens lost to the New York Islanders. And I do want to talk about that offside in just a second here. But the Islanders are 6-3-1 and have been winning a bunch of games since they traded Brock Nelson. And they could mess around, sell at the deadline, end up with Callum Ritchie and a playoff spot, which is kind of wild. Although I think Islanders fans are probably like, well, that means Lou would stick around another year, and we're not so sure about that.
That's not necessarily.
The Canadiens losing to the Islanders is a big deal because the Islanders pull within 2 points of the Canadiens, obviously tied with the Rangers. And the thing that Montreal fans are pissed about this morning is that Nick Suzuki offside call.
So I was obviously last night focused on the Leafs Rangers game. The image that I saw for this is offside. This is how offside he was. To me, even the image I saw wasn't conclusive.
It's millimeters. It's literal millimeters. Jesse, did you get the text I sent? I got it. We've got sort of we can freeze frame it for you so we can show it. It is.
Drew, can I ask you to get my glasses? Please. I'm sorry. I can't see. If we put it on the screen, I won't be able to
Where are
see.
your glasses?
I think they're over there. I think they're on the.
Why didn't you bring your glasses?
Because I
You
forgot.
just forgot them on the.
I just forgot. Yeah. Sometimes you forget.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you. I can't get up myself. I'm in the middle.
There you go. Boom.
Thank you. I'm surprised I saw them and I didn't catch them.
This is the rule.
Oh, that's way better.
This is the rule. But Nick Suzuki went in alone, scored an unbelievable goal, and they got to call it back. And this could have, spurred a very different game for Montreal. So, and it's not like, I mean, he was trying to stay onside anyway, right? It literally was. I don't even think if he had dragged his foot, I still think he would have had a breakaway. Like there was no one near him.
No, he would have been fine.
And so the question is this what we want?
No.
Is this really what we want? And the other thing is it's so interesting because you can cross the blue line without the puck on your stick, but it's quote unquote in possession. And some people, but now if you haven't touched it yet, it can't be in your possession. So the pass
it's like
goes
that
to him.
Tavares goal from a few weeks ago.
Exactly what I'm thinking. Yes.
Where he didn't have it, but very obviously had it. Just because, this is...
What are we talking about? What are we doing?
Is it possible to zoom on that?
No.
Why? Just because, you need to get down
to
the pixels.
Yes. You need a telescope.
Yeah. Look at 62 down there. Look at the linesman. He's got a good view of it. He's got no idea. This is so... Listen, I know all Islanders fans are like, well, that's the rule. And listen, I totally understand that. If this happened in favor of my team, I would be saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. This isn't...
But since
who gives a damn, man?
Since we're, innocent bystanders in this, I look at this and I go... sometimes the NHL has this thing where it's like, well, that's not really the spirit of the rule, right? And that's how they call it. And I'm like, I feel like it's obvious that the NHL made a call and blah, 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 blah. But I just feel like, what are we?
Let's use the
Do we need
Department of
this?
Player Safety. Like, he meant to stay onside, though.
Yeah, Judge.
Like, well, what's the intention? I think he meant to stay onside.
Right.
Friggin' Matt Duchene. Am I right, Drew? High five.
Where I land on this is the replay took a lot of time to get done. I think it was like 5 minutes in real time. It was a ridiculous amount of time. And when it takes that much time, to me, that means it's not conclusive. And to overturn a call, it has to be conclusive. And if you got to go down to the pixels, that to me doesn't fit the spirit of what offside is in hockey. I think there should be limits on how you can replay something when you're reviewing it. I think if it can't be seen in real time or even like half speed on a 30-second timer, then it shouldn't be overturned. I feel like there should be a limit for the referees to look at the calls, and there should be a frame rate. We shouldn't go down to the pixels.
I think the line gets more sacred the further you go down the ice. There's the center ice red line, which refs almost don't care about. Like, you can be a foot behind that thing and dump the puck in, and if you're like a defenseman who's been in the league for a long time and you tell reasonable jokes or have signed a stick for me in recent memory, I'm going to ignore that that's icing and I'm going to let it go. Offside, we'll review it for a long time and we start talking about the spirit of the rule. The goal line is when I go, it's in or it's out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, that's where I become a bit of a hypocrite because I look at this and I'm like, it's right enough. And then, but when it comes to the goal line, I'm like, well,
I think
it is or it isn't.
I think those are different categories of things. I think goals should be hard and fast and there should be a hard line, and offsides, just like referees deciding what penalties they want to call depending on what moment of the game it is, are fluid options for the refs. Last night we saw William Nylander get tripped and there was a call against the New York Rangers and it was tripping. A few moments later, William Nylander was tripped again.
Tripped worse.
But it was not a penalty because they had just called one, so they can't call one again.
There's been a playoff whistle for
in the rule book, it's tripping.
Yes.
They can't call it. They couldn't possibly do that. So
no, it would break their I think mouth.
If we're allowed to do things like that in the game where you could just ignore the rule book, I feel like offsides and the way these pixels are being analyzed shouldn't be on that same hard and fast line.
Explaining hockey from scratch to someone is so hard. It's so difficult, and it's because of conversations like this.
Yeah. One of my biggest problems with the challenge system, too, is that it is a challenge system. Because I think if the idea is to get the call right, it shouldn't be left up to the coaches and the video room to play a little game with the referees where it's like, okay, I'm going to challenge this. And if I'm wrong, I get a penalty. But if I'm right, then we get it back. I think if the idea is to get the call right, you should have the off-ice officials sit there, and if something is offsides, they blow it dead. Or if something needs to be reviewed, they take it back. And just get the game right if your whole goal is to get it right. Don't leave it into the hands of the coach in the video room playing low games with you.
Well, look how close this is. You're going to give me a 2-minute penalty if I got this wrong? Like, I know that's not how this played out. But, let's say that is how it played out. You're going to penalize for that?
Yeah.
Look at the ref or the linesman. Look at him crouched down. Look at it. He's in his curler stance. He didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, he wasn't on the blue line, so from that angle, you can't even really tell.
He's
right? There'd be
guessing.
So you're Patrick Waugh, Steve, and you say, "I'm going to challenge." What's plugging your ears?
I'm just mad all the time.
Is something plugging your ears? Your Stanley Cups.
Oh yes,
Stanley Cup ring.
I got to plug in my ears. Yeah, anyway.
I'm not doing the whole line. People can Google it. All right. Yeah.
So you're Patrick Waugh. You challenge us. Let's say you're wrong. I'm punishing you as the rule book for trying to get the game right. Like, you're trying to correct the mistake that the ref made, and you get punished for trying to correct the mistake. That doesn't make sense to me.
Man.
Just review it or don't.
You thought that review took a long time. Wait till you have to patch the divot I leave in the ice when I throw the bench over the boards. Because I'm Patrick Waugh.
I don't know. So I think there's a lot of things the NHL has to fix with the video review system. And the CBA is up very soon, and they're in the middle of negotiations in like a month. So why not use the opportunity to correct little things, like maybe putting some technology in the puck that'll just solve this with technology.
Apparently that is the PA. They do have to go to the PA for that.
Puck technology and review limits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enough. Utah HC owner Ryan Smith. I'm having a good day. I'm having a real good day. Utah HC owner Ryan Smith has announced a $1 subscription to the team's Utah HC Plus streaming service for fans to watch all remaining regular season and potential first-round playoff games. Now, they are in the race. It's not looking great for them, but
They're there.
But for $1, you can get the rest of their games. Let's talk a little bit about that and compare and contrast that to a story earlier this week where the Toronto Maple Leafs announced that they are raising ticket prices by 20 to 25%. And season ticket holders are pissed. They pissed off the rich guys, right? Because you got to be rich as hell to have one of those in Toronto. And I'll pull up more of the specifics of it. But let's first start with, hey, doing cool things for the fans.
The Utah HC is in the courting phase.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even really in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You're still trying to get them to like you. So you're pulling out all the stops. The Leafs are in the we've been married for a long time and we're not even going to try anymore phase. They're not.
Just to give you an idea, so the purple section, you ever sat in the purples?
Like that's isn't that the very top?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course I have.
So 2 season tickets, upper bowl, very top, $8,522 for 2 this season. It will go up to
$4,000 each?
Yep. It will go up to $10,396 next year.
Golly.
What's that per game? What's 5,000?
I mean, here's the thing. The Leafs will tell you that's a great deal. You get 41 games for $10,000.
It's a great deal if you sell them. Like, not if you go. Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. Fans were also invoiced at the same time for playoff tickets and asked to pay for all 4 rounds and 4 games in each round. So you have to if you want your playoff tickets, you have to prepay them. And then if they don't make it, because listen, they've had such a great track record of success, they refund you.
I know a guy who used to have season tickets, or he knew someone who had season tickets or whatever. And back when they used to print them, like they had the cool tickets, cool graphics and everything. You used to just get the physical ticket, whether the game happened or not.
Oh.
So he has Leafs
Stanley Cup.
Game 1, Stanley Cup final.
Hilarious.
Like Game 2. He's got them all framed.
That's funny.
And yeah, I didn't find it as funny.
Do you want to know?
I still have the screenshot of my tickets to the 2016 World Series at the Rogers Center.
Oh.
I bought tickets to games 4. I think it was home game 2 and home game 4 it would have been. So
that would have been cool.
Game 7 or home game 3, whatever it was. But I still have the screenshots of that, and that never happened.
A playoff ticket package in the same upper bowl seats. This is an article from James Myrtle at The Athletic. Will cost you. So remember, you got to buy 4 home games, each of the 4 rounds. For the same 2 seats in purple, which costs you $8,500 this year, it will cost you just in the spring $14,360 for 2 tickets. And that's a 13% increase year over year. So it costs more, obviously, to go to the playoff games, but a lot more. And they charge you, and then they'll refund you. So it just sits there. And
I mean, we're not going.
Well, yeah, I know we're not going.
Yeah.
Almost no one listening to this is going.
Yeah. Businesses are going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're going, well, you're not talking about me. I'm going. Yeah. How'd you get it?
Yeah.
How'd you get it?
Yeah.
There's some people, man, I see on Instagram all the time. I'm like, who did you kill to get into this many games. Drew?
I was going to say, how does it feel as Leafs fans to see those prices, and then you watch a Florida game where it's like, hey, these playoffs, game 1, 4 tickets, $99, and you also get 4 hot dogs and 4 pops.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. There's still, I tell the story every now and then, but during, I think it was like the 2008 financial crisis or whatever, that's when I started my internship. And it was either the Panthers or the Blues had some sort of contest where if you got a ticket to their game, you were automatically entered into a raffle or something, and they would pay your mortgage that month.
Yeah, that's wild.
A long time ago, we had a bid on this show about us buying Panther season tickets.
Yeah, we were going to get
it. Was like three grand.
It was like $300.
No, it wasn't $3,000. It was under $1,000. Yeah. You got everything: a parking ticket and a jersey.
We should have done it.
We could have pooled together like money in the couch to get this.
Yeah, we should have done
41 games, and every game there was something you would get.
Yeah,
parking or what a jersey and everything. And it was so cheap, and we're like, let's just fucking do it. And we ended up not doing it.
Other longtime season ticket holders say that they would keep their tickets, but expressed frustration with the fact that they're not often able to get face value when they resell them. So there is that, there's that guy who hates the Leafs, and him and his daughter go to every game and cheer against the Leafs. He owns the reason people don't like him is he doesn't just own those. He owns like 14 pairs of seats in Scotiabank Arena.
He's a scalper.
Yeah, he's a scalper, and he sells them, and that's his little business.
Yeah.
And whatever, they don't outlaw it. It's legal. Let them do it. But what's frustrating about it for these guys is, a guy like him. Well, I don't have any sympathy for him, to be honest, but you're not able to find people who can pay for those on a single game basis because A, the economy's down. B, it's just really freaking expensive. Economy up or down, it gets to the point where it's like, I can't justify this anymore.
There's not an infinite pool of money.
Right.
Like, I don't know, maybe I need to hang around.
Some of those business guys, those drop shippers on TikTok will tell you there is.
Well, you know what? Yeah. Here's what you got to do, bro. And this is how you go
you
to
should be driving a Lamborghini at 24.
Every game. Yeah. And also, don't you hate women? And also, sorry. For no good reason, these two things go hand in hand all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Anyway, I don't know who the clientele is. But what makes it stranger is that's not who's going to the games a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Like it's a company got these tickets and they're using them as a reward for employees, or they're dining clients, or it's a radio station doing a contest, which is how it used to be. I don't know if radio stations have that kind of money anymore.
Usually they're owned by, most of the radio stations are owned by Rogers and Bell, so they would sometimes have access to them.
So it's just Rogers putting, how much is this worth? $50 quadrillion. All right, take it from one hand and put it into the other. And
yeah.
What I found most interesting from the article, shout out James Myrtle for doing the legwork on this and doing a good read, was the response from MLSE, because they asked them about it. And they wrote that the seats have a 20% increase or higher. The seats that have a 20% increase or higher were determined to be historically underpriced as it relates to value of these tickets and market demand, and this season's increase in this area represents a market correction. So MLSE told everybody who has to pay now more for their season tickets that you've been getting a discount from us. How dare you?
Check this out, Jesse. Or are you going to this next part?
Yeah, they went on to say each year the organization used a range of factors and market trends to determine its member ticket pricing strategy, which includes historical data, demand, and team performance. On occasion, as part of the pricing analysis, some individual sections that make up the venue, pricing map are identified to be underpriced relative to market value, and corrections can occur. Season seat membership provides a number of valuable benefits for season ticket holders, including a significant discount on single ticket pricing, which has contributed to a historical team renewal average of 99%. So one of their benefits of being a season ticket member is that you get the ability to buy more tickets.
Why do I need more tickets? I have season tickets.
What?
This is Rogers. This is Rogers sinking their teeth deeper and deeper into MLSE.
Why did they say that?
Assure you it's a bad thing.
Well, they do this. Maple Leaf Sports always did this.
No, but it's worse. This is worse.
I don't think it is. I think this is right in line with the history of this, which is every 3 or 4 years we get this.
No,
and the only reason we haven't gotten it is because of the pandemic. We got this. We had this story several times over the course of this podcast, and then we didn't get one because over 2020 and 2021 they couldn't sell any because they didn't. You weren't allowed to go. I'm telling you, this is how Maple Leaf Sports has always operated. Will it accelerate under Rogers? Probably. I mean, look at what happened with Blue Jays tickets. But I do think it's a little bit hilarious that they've come to us, as Jesse pointed out, and gone, actually, we gave you a break for years. Yeah. The most unaffordable ticket packages in the entire league.
Actually, guys, they've been cheap this whole time.
You're welcome.
Fuck you.
Yes, I agree. Fuck you.
Remember they missed the playoffs when we were on this show? They missed the playoffs and they went off a fucking cliff. Like it was going to be Leafs Habs in the first round. It was going to be crazy. And then that was one of the 18-wheeler years. And that summer, that summer they raised ticket prices. And we talked about it. This has always been what they've done.
Well, and why I oughted. Like,
yeah, that's true.
We sure shook our face.
Yeah, no, we showed them.
The only time I saw it get bad was when they were so bad in the Peter Horacek era, people stopped coming. That's when they stopped selling out games.
Yeah, Adam and I
sellout was 2015.
Went to, and we were in a box for an Islanders game, Leafs Islanders, and half the bowl was empty.
And Tavares scored the overtime winner for the Islanders.
I
went to a Leafs Oilers game. I think it was that year. And keep in mind, this was the shitty Oilers. That's a hot ticket today. Mm-hmm. Really hot ticket. But man, I was just looking around the building. I'm like, there are so many empty seats. Mm-hmm. No, because no one wanted to see that shit.
I think the thing that bothers people is that season tickets in a lot of cases are generational. Like there are still a lot of families left over from like the 40s, 50s, 60s who my grandfather had them and then my dad had them and now I have them.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the point where those people are being priced out and it has to go to a corporation which can write them off. Mm-hmm. That's the only way you can really justify it. How can you justify? Because if you're somebody that owns 2 tickets and you're paying $10,000, you're somebody who is likely in the highest tax bracket or one of the higher tax brackets.
And that's the worst seat in the building.
That's the worst seat in the building.
10,000 is the purples. Yeah. That's just get in price.
So you're talking about somebody that's got, let's say you're in one of the higher tax brackets in Canada, which are between 40 and 50% on your income tax. That means you have to be cool with giving up 10, 15% or a little less, maybe 5 to 8% of your income after tax to purchase these tickets. And then the way you pay for it is you hopefully sell what you can't do anymore. There is only one way this can go, which is it's all corporate seating. That's because from a business perspective, like if SDPN wanted to buy tickets,
sure,
we could say it's a business expense. We bring clients, we give them away to fans, like to listeners or whatever.
I've sat between the bench 2 or 3 times. I've sat between the bench enough times that I don't remember how many. Never paid.
Well, yeah, because those are corporate seats.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So I'm like the thing is, I know that they will tell you, listen, if you want a family atmosphere, go to the Marlies. That's what they'll say. The Leafs are a premium seat. At a certain point, though, you do need to have fans in the building. And Jesse made, I don't even know if it was in a group chat or something. You talked about Steve Ballmer from the LA Clippers.
Yeah.
He built the arena for fan experience, big bathrooms and lights and everything else. It would be nice to have an owner like that. And that, I think it was because we were talking about a secondary Toronto team. Mm-hmm. And when you put it all together on that, like that, I was like, yeah, you know what? Toronto does need a second team.
That's always been my dream, like for the longest time, is to have that second team come in and show the Leafs how it can be done. And
yes,
that's what Ballmer did in LA. Like for the longest time, when they were in the Staples Center, he was always the little brother to the Lakers, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna buy these 2 arenas because he couldn't. Where they built their new arena now, he had to buy the arena next door because there was land regulations.
Oh, is that right?
To build his new one, so he had to buy the building next door to get the rights to build build the one he currently has, which I think is the coolest thing ever. And then he's showing everybody like this is how it can be done. When you're truly a fan of your own thing that you own, you can create things for fans. And I think all the reviews out of the Clippers arena so far this season have been positive in that they've actually created that environment. So a second team in Toronto is something that the city can support. There are enough hockey fans here, and there's enough population that I think it would be something that's very successful. But unfortunately, MLSE has the rights to turn that down whenever they want in terms of negotiated with Gary and the owners.
My question is for how long? Because here's the thing. The NHL owners can say to Maple Leaf Sports, yeah, that's nice that you have that. We're just going to take it. And they can do that. Like if the NHL wanted to push that hard, they could absolutely get rid of that. And you can't tell me, so for people that don't know Canadian geography, roughly 35 to 40% of the entire population lives in Southern Ontario, right? This boot from Windsor all the way up to Ottawa Ottawa's not Southern Ontario, but it is an enormous amount of people in a very small area.
A stretch.
Yeah, you drive west in Toronto. You can drive from Bowmanville all the way through Toronto and down, and you won't hit farmland for several hours. Like, it's just city. And they just name different places, different cities, but it's all connected. And so I look at this and I think, okay, I don't think Hamilton's the place for it. I don't know if Mississauga's the place for it. No. But somewhere in Southern Ontario,
it's got to be downtown.
You think downtown?
Like
Toronto?
I think if maybe you go up a little up young, like where Maple Leafs Gardens the Longos now, where TMU plays, like a location like that would be cool. But there's no land, obviously, right now downtown. But so you got to get creative, like how MSG's built underground on below the train station.
Cool.
Like something creative like that. But an arena downtown with a second hockey team, there's no doubt in my mind that there's enough corporate sponsors to support it, because you look at like, hey, Coke's got the Leafs, Pepsi's got this other team.
Yeah.
Like, every brand here in the city, because we have all the big ones, has the competitor who can take the other team. And I think like to show what the Leafs could be would be very interesting in this market. They'd always be the Mets. They'd always be the Clippers. They'd always not be the big dogs. But you can show like, hey, we can be the fans team. And I think a lot of hockey fans deserve that.
To that point, Jesse,
I would never jump ship, though.
You have to get
FYI.
You have to get creative.
I want to see it as an experiment.
Yeah, like Leo might grow up as that fan. But that's through his own choice and through what they do.
Yeah, because his dad, who is a massive Leafs fan, can only afford to take him
to the other team.
The other team,
yeah. They're called. Well, and I think that's what I like. And this, unfortunately, in Canada, we moved. There was like a business thing that we did as a country where it's like, okay, let's allow a whole bunch of companies to buy each other up and eliminate competition so these companies can compete on the global market. So if they have a strong home base in Canada, where they own a big chunk of the majority, whatever, they can take their services south of the border or to Europe or to Australia, and they can become international successes. And that largely hasn't happened. And what it's left us with is a very monopolized system. And so in sports, you've got the biggest telecom owning the biggest brand and in the biggest city without any competition.
They own everything.
And it's sort of at the point where Jesse, like, if you'd asked me 2 or 3 years ago, I'd have been like, no, like, let's not put another the fact is, at the end of the article for James says there are 12,000 people waiting for season tickets for the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you want to claim
people,
to me,
in quotes,
people. Well, no, people. That's what he says.
It's corporation.
So, I don't think it is. I'm on that wait list. I put myself on that wait list 10 years ago.
Yeah, Adam's got money, though.
You're a helicopter.
Yeah, you know.
And Adam, 12,000 people is 24,000 tickets.
That's right.
Remember, it's not 12,000 people, it's 24,000 tickets.
So the idea...
That's a sold-out arena is the only point.
The idea
arena in Utah.
The idea
packed.
That the Toronto Maple Leafs, who have a stadium full of people in the playoffs and a stadium full of people outside of the arena in the playoffs, can't support another 41 home games plus playoffs is an outrage. And I think at a certain point, this group of people is going to push people hard enough to start truly campaigning for it. And if I were a billionaire right now, like a billionaire, but not lazy, because I'm too lazy as a billionaire to be doing this, go and buy the land now. Go start bring in the Oakview group, and just be like, hey guys, let's build an arena for no reason. No, don't even look over here. Don't even worry about it.
The Trues need a new 20,000 seat venue.
That's right. Yeah, the Arkells and the Trues need somewhere to play. I want to see some rebel freaking rich guy do something cool. Billionaires lately have sucked. Do something fucking cool, guys.
This generation of billionaires is lame.
They're not building like old rich people back in the day used to build like, here's a hospital wing, here's a library. I would love to see.
What happened to good old organized crime money?
Yeah. Why? Why can't we get somebody go, you know what? Screw all of these guys. I'm going to come in and make it happen. Yeah. I'm sure in the next 5 years, we're going to have this conversation again in terms of another team in Toronto. We can't continue to ignore it like it wouldn't work. It would work, no question.
I don't know if you guys remember in like the mid 2010s-ish, there's been a couple phonies who have come around and been like, we're building the arena in Markham. I remember a couple times they held like a press conference and everything. We're going to bring the second team, NHL team, Toronto. And so it's happened, people saying they can do it.
Do they?
All of them have been phonies.
Markham ain't it. And no offense to Markham. You can't put it out there.
No.
You got to put it, Jesse's right, you got to put it downtown. I think you could go as far as Eglinton or Shepherd. I think you could go North Toronto.
Like the Downsview area is interesting because there's the airport there where they're building Rogers Stadium.
Yes.
Their outdoor venue.
Where I think Oasis is playing in June.
Oasis is playing. K-pop band is playing. They're doing that this summer. Like that's
where the Rolling Stones played when they did
temporary-ish, but it's like it's pretty stable.
They got to fix the transit infrastructure out there.
Yeah, so that area is interesting for a 20,000 seat stadium, but preferably it'd be downtown. But there's some areas.
Just be on a subway line. That would be great.
The subway goes out there, Downsview.
Totally.
Train does, yeah.
So I think, Jesse, I just want to say, like, I know nobody else was privy to the conversation, but when you said that the other day, I'm like, and then reading this, I'm like, we need some competition in the market.
What do you think about Tannenbaum, who's divesting himself of the MLSE shares that he owns in the next few years, becoming that guy who tries to do that with the money he gets from that sale?
So Larry's worth $2.8 billion. Mm-hmm. He's 79 years old.
That's
he made his
what
money.
I was looking up. He's 79.
He made his money in construction. Well respected, loved by players and management and all that, and pretty sure that. By 2026, because he's already said he's going to be divesting in 2026, as Jesse mentioned.
When he's over 80 years old.
Rogers will buy the rest of it, and then so Rogers will own 95%, and Omers will own the other 5%. And even if they don't, even if he sells to somebody else, Rogers will still have the majority voting shares, so whatever they say goes. With Larry, I don't know that $2.8 billion, which is what he is supposed to be worth, is enough.
Really?
So this morning, Alan has been talking about on Agent Provocateur that expansion is coming. We've talked about it time and time again. And he said, you watch, the franchise value tag is going to be $1.8 billion or 1.5 billion to just buy the team. And then it's going to be another $500 to 750 million US dollars at least to build an arena, right? So that will all have to be factored into the plan. So you're asking essentially most of Larry Tannenbaum's net worth to bring another team to Toronto.
They gotta, I don't know. What if you invest more in interfering in elections?
You
can get tax dollars.
It works in Calgary. Well, I think that Larry's not rich enough. It would have to be Larry plus another couple of guys. And I know that there was, and I'm totally speculating, but there was a Canadian guy, Greek Canadian guy, who was in on the Washington Commanders. And the Washington Commanders sold for $6 billion. Mm-hmm. Is it Kostopoulos? There's like a name. Anyway.
Now you're just saying Greek name.
No, I thought it was something. Anyway, long story short, I wonder about a guy like that going, because that's where all the billionaire private wealth is going. It's going into things like this. If you can bring in a guy who's got operational experience like Larry does, with a billionaire who's a little bit younger and has got a little bit more money, you could have something interesting. The thing, too, with Larry is the Toronto Tempo, as exciting as that is, probably going to lose money in its first 5 years. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. That's fine. They don't mind that. How many assets under that, what are they calling this sports group? It's Kilmer Sports?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many assets under that one roof can lose money at the same time? And that's if you were going to do that. I mean, again, we're spitballing.
The age thing's interesting because he just bought that WNBA team, so he's not like acting like he's gonna retire anytime soon, right? Like he bought that team. They don't start till another year, so he's gonna see that thing play out. So I think there's a little bit of time for Tannenbaum to still do things, and we know these guys with this kind of money, they do everything until they can't. You know,
they make old guys very different.
Yeah, they do.
Than they used to. I want to know what kind of blood transfusion Dracula. I don't even like what drug cocktail. My grandpa was not like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
He lived to 95.
What do they say? You're not ugly, you're poor.
Oh,
it's
dude.
like you're not sick, you're poor.
His last 15 years was not spent in meetings.
Yes. Yeah.
It was spent at Kelsey's with his grandkids.
Yes.
That was basically it.
So yeah, it's fascinating. I do think with this, like I think given, and this is where Maple Leaf Sports, they could have waited on this, but if they just don't give a shit because they have no competition. It's a really, really tough time in this country. You know, we've essentially lost a decade of economic development. Part of that's the pandemic. Part of that's policy. Part of that's just the way things have gone. People can't buy as much as they used to. Even, you know, the economy's not growing. We've got a tariff war, and for them to announce this, it's
Adam,
very. Hold on, let me finish.
Slow down and explain because a lot of people haven't heard of this.
I feel like
Sorry.
The only thing I want to say with it is that I think it hits. At this time, like in 2015 when they did it and they missed the playoffs, it's like, hey, F you, we missed the playoffs, whatever. Canada was like the 6th biggest economy. We've now slipped to 9th. Like there's a lot going on that Canadians are very aware of, that we're worried about. And then for them to do this, it's just sort of like, meh. And I feel like you couldn't have waited for a year. Like you couldn't have waited. And the answer to them on their side would be like, no, because we can do it.
Yeah.
And until people stop buying it because there's no viable alternative, what are you going to do? Hey, Jesse.
Yes.
What's going on that's special and new?
A Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern on the SDPN YouTube channel, we are trying something new. We are going to be playing trivia with the audience on the YouTube channel, and we have prizing. We're giving away an Austin Matthews McFarland figurine to the winner of that round's trivia. There's going to be a couple different rounds, a couple different prizes. That's only one prize that I've revealed right now. But Saturday, 6 p.m. pregame for Steve's stream trivia, and it's going to be it's so cool. This new technology that we're trying out. I'm very excited to debut it to the world. So get ready.
Did you develop a new app, Jesse?
I did not.
Oh.
No, our good friends at Northern Louds came up with this great thing called Spark, and you guys are going to try it out on your phones. You're going to play along with me in the live stream, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I love it.
Good. You're so good with quizzes.
Yeah. No, you are. It's actually funny. I was talking to Natalie about it last night. This is a true story.
Okay.
And I was like, I was explaining to her this whole thing. Oh
yeah.
And I'm like, because I'm really excited about this. And she's like, Jesse likes trivia. And I'm like, I don't know if Jesse likes trivia. It's just, it comes out of his pores. I remember at Virgin Radio even, like when we played games, Jesse's games were insane. They're so good. You're really good at this, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm good at it or if I just really like it. I think the really liking it makes it fun for me to do it, and which makes it good for the audience. Right? It's just because I'm into it, so it's a lot of fun. So yeah, tune into that. It's our first time trying it, and I think it's going to be a regular thing if everything goes well. Fingers crossed. But yeah, you could win a lot of cool prizes just by participating. So make sure you're tuned in 6 p.m. Eastern on the SDPN YouTube channel. Did you want to bring up the Kevin Weeks report? What was it yesterday that 4 teams are going to be added to the NHL?
Yeah. So I've talked about this, and Alan's talked about this too. So it looks like they found a billionaire in Houston who is legit, and Houston is a market you need if you're the NHL. You need Houston, and I'm just pulling up his name right now. The other thing is obviously Atlanta, and Kevin Weeks has been on the Atlanta thing for a while, but his name is Dan Friedkin, and this is an Emily Kaplan report. We're going to get 2. But as Jesse mentioned, it probably will be 4. And according to 32 Thoughts this morning, the NHLPA is aware that these 2 teams are coming, and they're coming quickly. They just don't have the timeline yet. So, and this has been in the works for a while. Dan Friedkin, by the way, owns AS Roma, and he owns the Italian soccer leagues, Roma, which is a big team.
I like that you looked at me. I know.
And then he also owns Everton of the EPL. So this is a guy that owns multiple teams. He's a legit. I checked in with a few people. They're like, yeah, he actually legitimately has money. He's real.
Your billionaire friend.
Yes.
He's not Max Chambers, is what you're saying.
So okay.
No, just say it. Just say it.
Or the guy that bought the Pretz, Boots Del Biagio, which is a hell of a name. Or Del Biagio or whatever.
You thought there was a grown adult man
named Boots.
Legitimate billions named Boots.
Gary did.
Stop it.
You
guys never seen a movie?
So
Jeez.
I think we see 2 teams as early as 2027. That's my guess. Wow. I think we see 4 teams, like the next 2, within 2 years of that. And the question will be, how much of these franchise tags worth? Again, Fried said this morning that Gary wants $2 billion. I'm being conservative and saying it's going to be 1.5.
Dude,
per team.
I know you said wow, Jesse, but like the Coyotes were practically kidnapped. They were the Coyotes and became Utah so fast. Mm-hmm. That thing where they had fans meet players at like the
airport,
at the airport was so surreal. I can't imagine what it was like to be one of those players. You were a Coyote 4 seconds ago.
And the NHL claimed that was an expansion team.
Right.
And he paid $1 billion for it. So they went, Vegas was 500, Seattle I believe was 650. They got $1 billion for Utah and the reason they got $1 billion for Utah, part of this was Gary needed to show the growth.
There are technically 33 NHL franchises.
Yes, because Arizona technically exists as a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So then it becomes sort of like what is the time frame? Remember, if you bring 2 teams in at $1.5 billion each, that's $3 billion. Each team, the second that this is all signed, will get a check for $100 million. Just for existing. So if you're a billionaire, you just own the team, and one day $100 million shows up in your account.
Here's how these conversations always work with us: is you guys talk about the business because I'm a child and I don't understand it.
Uh-huh.
But I was looking at it like, okay, full rosters account for injuries and call-ups. That's somewhere between 120 and 150 new NHL players each year.
Yeah.
The
jobs.
Jobs.
Gerbs, lots of gerbs.
It's very good. I've never been one to buy into the dilution of the talent pool.
No, they just make better. They make more players. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's a lot.
No, it's not.
Are you now buying into it?
Well, I'll put it this way: there's going to be a lot more goals.
I don't even know if I agree with that. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think you're going to look at listen. These teams will take from the teams that are already there. Like that if 2 teams come in at once, that expansion draft's going to be nuts.
This is what I'm saying,
right?
Brooksy.
Well, those will be good teams though, because there'll be a lot of available players, right? You don't think? Because I think that what they would have to do is make your ability to protect even smaller.
The class of haves and have-nots is going to be insane because there's going to be a bunch of guys who, between now and those teams coming in, are going to get insane paydays.
But
Marner, McDavid.
Seattle and LA, or Seattle and Vegas came in within 3 years of each other, 4 years of each other. Did the goals go up precipitously because they came in, or did the goals go up precipitously because, you're talking about?
Depends who you ask.
I don't think anybody's making the claim that Seattle and Vegas joining the league is the reason for the spike in goals. I think it's rules.
You watch it. Watch them.
And you're talking about 20 jobs.
No.
On 2 teams.
The conversation yesterday was 4.
Yeah. No,
I'm talking 4.
2035, there's 4 more teams in the NHL. They've done all the...
35?
Takes 10 years.
Yeah.
I think that's a good time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you got to build the arenas, right?
Yep.
It takes a little bit of time. So 2035, it's not far off if you look at a calendar.
In Arizona, it takes at least 25 years to build an arena.
Yeah. So we get 4 new teams. That's, let's say, 20 players each for each.
Yeah.
20, 40, 60, 80. 80 NHL players added to the pool.
Nah.
Are you worried?
Injuries and call-ups, man.
Okay, so 100.
The Avalanche have had, 47 players play for them?
You're getting to the semantics that I don't care about.
It's not semantics. It's a fact.
Okay, no, but I don't care about the number that I throw at you.
Yeah,
I'm just saying we're adding the jobs. Are you worried about the NHL product?
No.
Okay.
Because the
All I
NHL
want
wants more goals.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember.
So it's a good thing.
You know what? We need to go back to the
Depends
good
who
old
you
days
ask.
where New Jersey was so good.
No. It depends who you ask.
Man, I love a nice
I'm on the
82-point
side of it's
season
good.
winning
I'm
the
on the
Art
side
Ross.
of it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's great, and
Not everyone agrees.
I get that, but every time they've made that argument, and Damien Cox specifically has been a guy in Toronto that's made that argument since he said the NHL peaked in 1993. Are you? He made that. He wrote a book about it, guys.
I haven't heard that one.
Listen, if you're of that ilk, and he is, or was at least, I don't know what he's been saying
I never want to
lately.
be the you know what was better, the past guy.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think it's a really silly argument. You know, people made that argument when and again, those expansion teams in the 90s and in the 70s and the 80s and the 60s, like the ones in the 60s, terrible talent.
I grew
the
up.
NHL's better at expanding teams. Vegas went to the finals in their first season.
And
They're going to
even
Figure
Seattle
this out.
Went to the playoffs, won around.
Second.
Sorry, Drew.
Oh, that's right. They beat
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I grew up on the 90s. The 90s, hockey in the 90s is why I love hockey.
Yep.
It's better today.
Yes.
Objectively better today. Like by leaps and bounds better today.
Yeah.
What are we all talking about here?
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think we're going to be okay. So here's the deal. I want to move on to some Western Conference stuff. Draisaitl didn't play last night. McDavid got hurt at the end of the second period. Stuart Skinner left the game with 5 minutes to play. He was pulled for a concussion by a concussion spotter. So are the Edmonton Oilers cooked?
Who cares about the Oilers? I have Draisaitl. It's fantasy playoffs. It's fantasy playoffs. I'm so fucked.
The LA Kings.
He didn't get it. I have him and Wallman. They hung 7 goals on Utah, and they didn't get shit. Damn it!
Steve, you've been bad at fantasy hockey for
I know that.
for like how old are you? 40? 40 years of your life?
Oh, I'm fuck you years old.
What's up, Drew?
What's up, Drew?
Go ahead.
Is Steve better at fantasy football than fantasy hockey?
It seems so.
Yeah. This
I
year,
choked
at least.
there too.
Oh yeah, you did.
I've had a good regular season in hockey. I'm about to lose in the first round again. I am the Leafs of fantasy sports. It's unbelievable.
You choked the President's Trophy in football.
Unbelievable.
And then you
Derrick
lost in the
Henry,
first round.
top 5 fantasy player. Oh, well, he had a shitty week. I guess you're done.
Drew, to answer your
Like,
question, he's equally bad in both. Yeah.
I still might win this week. Might.
So
Who are you playing? Mikey Stevens?
Yeah, fucker.
Drew's sorry, just back to the Oilers for a hot second here.
Yeah.
They didn't go get a goalie. Calvin Pickard is now going to be their starter for a while, maybe.
That's okay.
They are 2 points up on the Kings, but the Kings have 2 games in hand.
They have righted the ship a little bit recently.
They have
Haven't really got credit for it.
6-3-1 in their last 10. It's great.
Yeah.
Could lose home ice advantage if they're not playing those guys
They could.
I'm taking the Kings this year.
over them.
This is the year the Kings finally do it. Charlie Brown's going to kick the football.
Finally!
After all of those years of playing the Oilers in the first round getting eliminated, the Kings look good. I think they take it.
This is how it works in the NHL, by the way. It's always this is the year, this is the year, this is the year. The second you stop believing in them is when they're going to win.
Yeah.
I do not think the Kings are going to win this series. That's how I know they're going to win the series.
Who are you taking?
The Kings.
No, the Oilers.
Oh.
I have to take the Oilers in order for the Kings to win.
You guys are looking at it wrong. The Kings are winning the division. It's Vegas, Edmonton, round 1.
Oh, I think you're so wrong.
You think the Kings are going to get ahead of Vegas?
Vegas is going to be at least as good as the Kings down the stretch.
They're
That's
gonna
a
be so hard to
five. That's a
catch.
5-point split.
There's
is it
no
not?
way, Drew.
They have a game. They have a game in hand on Vegas. So it's
That's all.
You can look at it as 3.
yeah, exactly.
Although,
Hottest team in the league, LA Kings.
Well, the Kings have to play the Leafs soon, so they're going to lose that one.
It's just I
Why'd you laugh?
completely disagree.
Why'd you laugh?
I think the Vegas Golden Knights hold on to that first place
Yeah.
division.
And the also worth noting, just a little bit further down, St. Louis Blues have snuck in,
Yeah, the Blues passed the Canucks,
and Flames.
which is not great.
I just like
for
to
the
thank
Canucks.
Kevin Lankinen and the Canucks for absolutely nothing, as long as we're talking about fantasy sports. You friggin' tie it up, and then you lose anyway. You stink.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you tied it up just in time to have Lankinen lose the game and allow another goal. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Perhaps St. Louis did make the right call not trading Braden Shen.
I don't know why.
I
why
said
is
it!
that a thing?
Oh, yeah, they're going to trade Shed and Parayko. Anytime, here's how you know
Parayko can't get traded.
Here's how you know the Blues are about to go off. Anytime conversations about Colton Parayko getting traded come up.
Oh, that's a good point.
They're about to go on a league best run.
4 wins in a
how
row,
you know.
and Parayko's not even playing because I think he's out.
Doesn't matter.
Till the playoffs.
Doesn't matter.
Sure.
It's don't hurt my narrative.
Parayko's definitely out.
Don't hurt my narrative.
The other thing
playing hockey.
I want to talk
Don't hurt
about,
my narrative.
Jesse, I sent you the clip here. Steve, did you see, and Jesse, did you see the Sabres score on themselves under the late
Yes.
penalty?
It's so funny, and everyone's skipping over the funniest part, which is you never see this ever with a local friendly podcast. Rob Ray being legitimately mad and yelling at what he wanted the Sabres to do within earshot of the Sabres.
Really?
What?
So I didn't hear the call. I only saw the thing.
Oh, the call's amazing.
No, so what happened was, and we can't show it, so
Yeah.
I'll just reenact it. It's actually very easy.
Give it to us.
Utah took a penalty. There's a little over 90 seconds to go. Utah took a penalty. Sabres pull their goalie. Sabres have the puck in the offensive zone.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Ray, this is
Give
long. Yeah, give him the puck. Give him the puck. In his Rob Ray, like grizzly bear of a voice. Give him the puck. This is a man who took a puck off the dome and was fine like a week ago.
Yes.
And now he's screaming, probably blood trickling from this. Give him the puck. And they won't give him the puck. They bounce it off the boards. It goes into their net. And while poor Dan Dunleavy is trying to do play-by-play in a cordial play-by-play
Who's very
way.
good, by the way.
Yes, he was at the Fan for a long time when I was an intern there. He was great to work with. And Rob Ray is shouting, give him the puck.
All right, now here we
He's,
go.
oh, yeah, you can show it. There you go.
So there's Tage.
Give him the puck. Oh,
Look at this. It's a pinball machine.
it's absolutely perfect. Like,
So
he's right. Give him the puck.
Tage Thompson misses Rasmus Dahlin with the pass, and there it goes. Dahlin's racing into the net.
That's an actually somewhat underrated part of this play. Racing is
racing
generous.
Oh, is it?
is an exaggeration.
Was
on
it
what
Evan
he did.
Bouchard racing?
I honestly think if he had put a little hustle in at the beginning
could've
of the
caught this
chase,
puck.
he could have caught it. Oh, especially if you like do a little dive thing with your stick, you reach out. Like
Matthew Tkachuk.
the effort there is not there.
Maybe he does want to get out.
This whole team.
Sorry.
What? That was the story like a week ago.
I know you caught me off guard with that one.
The NHL does classify it, by the way, own
Yes.
goal.
Yeah, but they still give it to Stenley.
Yeah, Stedlin gets the goal, but you can see how they're
That's
like
stupid.
shorthanded and empty net. It's an own empty net, but Stedlin gets the goal.
Man, it's just rough. It's
Thank you
just
to the
rough.
Sabres. I have Karel Vejmelka. Last night was a terrible night. Vejmelka was the only bright spot.
Hey, speaking of the Buffalo Sabres, former Buffalo draft pick Brandon Hagel is the first player since 1932 to have 32 goals in a season without any of them being on the power play.
1932?
Mm-hmm.
Did they have power plays then?
They did, and power plays back then lasted the full 2 minutes, no matter how many goals you scored.
Yeah, they had to change it because of the Canadians.
Yeah,
right.
Maurice Richard just wrecked.
That's
the most
boys,
compliment that anybody could ever get.
Boys,
What?
this is huge. It might be unprecedented.
Was Cliff Fletcher alive?
No, he wasn't.
Oh!
I love that you immediately knew where I was going. He was born in 1935. Cliff Fletcher wasn't even alive the last time a player scored, what was it?
32.
Yes.
32 goals without any of them being on the power play.
By the way,
Why
that
is
was
it Brandon Hagel on the power play?
By the way, I just want to throw this at you. Maybe he just probably hasn't scored on it.
That's
That's
insane.
crazy. The forward pass became legal in the NHL in 2930. So that was 2 years.
29. Oh, 19.
Oh, the league
Yeah,
George
I know.
Ainsworth
Sorry.
built.
Yes.
I was like,
We're almost in 2930. I know.
Oh, my God. Oh,
But
my
yeah,
God.
so almost 100 years ago. But that was like 2 years before it became. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Or 2 years after, excuse me.
Brendan Hagel's only 26. He feels like he's been around forever.
I know.
Dude,
Listen, a lot of people don't want to hear this, but the Leafs almost got him for Matt Nyes in at first.
I love Matt Nyes so much, though.
Me too.
Do you guys like the Hockey DB feature where you could change their pictures?
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, you click that, you go back in time, you see.
Whoa, him in a Sabres uniform is weird.
Man, you know what's kind of nuts? He's got great hair. You know what kind of is nuts is the Sabres or whoever was drafting for the Sabres in the mid 2000s did a really good job.
Yeah,
and they were
the sad thing is they fucking killed it in drafts.
They pulled him out of the 6th round. He's a 6th rounder.
Oh, how embarrassing!
Oh dear.
Sell the team. Sell the team. Like, fuck you, Terry Pegula.
Yo, I want to know who was scouting for them. That guy's pretty good. He should be making a lot of money.
I can guarantee you they've been fired.
Yeah, probably.
Well, because didn't they a while ago like fire all their scouts and they're like, we're going to do it all in video.
Yeah.
And they've been so good.
They
That's
did
to save
do that.
money.
Dude, they stink.
Yeah.
Like everything about them is apocalyptic.
Yo, Rasmus
from
Dahlin
top
does
down.
one out.
He
Straight up.
It would be weird if he didn't.
Yeah.
This is what I'm not picking on them. I'm not being
I don't think
cruel.
Sabres fans are upset with you.
I
saying
question anyone who wants to be a Sabre.
Yes. Because why would you?
Where's your competitive fire? Why do you want to be a Sabre?
That means, you don't care about like winning.
that. So you're saying Jason Zucker doesn't have competitive fire? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I think he's not allergic to nearly $5 million a year.
Yeah. Good point. And Greenway?
I think he wants $5 million more than he wants to be a Sabre.
What would you rather have, Steve?
$5 million.
And if you had to be a Sabre?
If you even looked at me sideways, Steve, why'd you sign to do YouTube videos for the Sabres? The look I would give you, they're paying me. I'm on Podcastpedia. I make 5 sheets. What are you talking about? Let's go Buffalo. But hey, you don't see this Rob Ray jersey hanging in the background?
Yeah.
Who's that on the 28? Domi? Bum. Never heard of
Domi's got nothing on Rob Ray.
nothing. Nothing.
Lindy Ruff is a god.
You know, my favorite underrated player from my youth, Jochen Hecht. I friggin' loved him.
For $5 million.
Huge Jochen Hecht guy.
It becomes SFR for $5 million.
Easily.
Yeah.
Especially
Especially if it's like a 7-year deal or something. Like,
Oh,
I wouldn't be able to play in the Easter Seals tournament anymore.
Why?
Because Lindros. I would just have to follow him around going, are you ready? Legion of Doom. Here come the Buffalo Sabres. My voice is gone.
by the way, one team clinched a playoff spot last night. Can you name them?
the Washington Capitals.
That's right. 2 teams have been eliminated. Name them.
The Sharks and Blackhawks.
That's right. So we're getting near that season. What's interesting is the Capitals and the Jets have the exact same amount of points. They both have 100 points. Jets have not clinched yet.
It's because the West is crazy.
It is crazy.
It's a little bit more have and have not than the East.
But what's hilarious is, like, I look at that and I'm like, mathematically, you're telling me that there are still 8 teams that could get over 100 points in the West.
The Sabres could make the playoffs.
That's crazy.
That is kind of nuts, actually, when you think about it.
If everything worked out to
Maybe this was the moment.
Yeah,
Jess.
this is the turning
Aren't
point.
they not even that far behind? Like,
No,
they're pretty far.
I mean, they're yes,
14
they are,
points
but,
off
like,
the Canadians. They're last in the East.
But like, we're talking 14 points. Okay, yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's a pretty
but,
big
like,
spread.
how far off are the Sharks?
The
From a
Sharks are
playoffs.
way off. They have 45 points, and the St. Louis Blues in the second wildcard spot have 77.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's.
What are you saying?
I'm saying, let's go Buffalo.
Yeah, that
Here they
didn't-
come.
Drew, I didn't think that supported the argument
Guys,
either.
I have always.
I don't know what you're saying.
I have always been a big supporter of the house that Brian Holzinger built.
Yeah.
Your favorite goalie, Hasher?
Easily.
Oh, yeah.
The Dominator.
Forgot Potvin.
Yeah, but like, you know, we don't talk enough about Alexei Zhitnik and what he brought.
No.
He's so good.
Yo, McGillney Sabres is legit.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Where he defected.
oh Adam.
If you're gonna leave the Soviet Union, you should definitely end up in Buffalo.
I got a favorite Sabre for every color pattern that they wore, like blue and gold.
Yeah.
I think we're going all the way back to La Fontaine.
Oh man, he was great.
But you know, McGillney's in there too for going black and red. I mean, I got my Chris Drury jersey is in such good condition, along with, like I said, Jochen Hecht.
Dale Howardchuk was pretty good as a Sabre too.
Oh man,
You know what's awesome, Steve?
favorite tough guy ever? Andrew Peters.
You can still be a James Reimer fan.
That's right.
That was his last team he ever played for.
Oh, wait, is he not in the NHL anymore?
Well,
Because he signed with the Red Wings this offseason, right? Was he not one of the 7 goalies they had?
No. He signed with Buffalo. He got put on waivers, claimed by Anaheim, played a couple games there, went back to Buffalo.
Got it.
Yeah, and I don't know the last time he played for Buffalo, but that's a thing.
I think it was recent-ish.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but like Jesse, he's not even Marty Biron level. Like, oh man, I have so many favorites.
You love UPL, you know.
I love old 3 names. I call them. I love 3
Old
names.
3 names?
Old 3 names. Adam, Sabres fan Steve loves 3 names. Yes.
Yeah, Drew.
How does Sabres fan Steve feel about how the Jack Eichel situation was handled?
Oh man, listen, I understand a guy wanted to take care of his neck, but how about you take care of wins and losses, right? I would way prefer Peyton Krebs. That is, listen, hey, Jesse has the crab people.
Yeah.
That's got nothing on the Krebs people. Krebs people. Taste like Peyton. Talk like people.
What?
What? I don't know, man.
Oh, man. Okay.
Oh, update on James Reimer.
Oh.
He was the goalie in net last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, so basically what you're saying is the end of the game wasn't his fault.
All right, yeah, he didn't. He left the net to have it scored on. So.
He did his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give them the puck.
Give them the puck.
I didn't.
And he's mad, and they heard it. They definitely heard it.
One more thing. And I love that Drew pulled this stat for me. Dylan Holloway, under head coach Jim Montgomery, has 48 points in 48 games.
Damn.
Do you think maybe the Oilers should have held on to those guys? Holloway and Broberg?
No.
They sure have looked good in St. Louis.
That would have been like perfect in their lineup. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, what amount of money does Broberg and Holloway cost versus Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson? I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking.
Check.
But I know it's not a big enough amount of money that you should have made the decision that you did. Put it that way.
All right. So you want Arvidsson, who makes
Jeff Skinner
$4
makes
million
$3. So they make $7 million combined
for this year and next year. Yeah, and then Jeff Skinner's there at $3.
Maroon. Oh boy. Yeah, no, I know I'd rather have both those guys. In fairness, they are breaking out, but that's sort of what happens when you're young and good. Yeah, I think that was a mistake.
The place they need the help, right, is on the back end.
Well, they took all the resources, all the assets that they got from those, and they went out and blew the doors off at the deadline. Oh, sorry. Actually, it says here they got one guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The injured Trent Frederick here.
Hey, question. I like that deal. I still like that deal.
They got 2 guys. I forgot. Forgot about Freddie.
I have to ask.
You don't. End the show right now.
I have to ask this question.
Okay.
It's an unpopular question, but I'm fucking relishing the opportunity to ask it.
Oh.
It better be about Jochen Heck.
If the Oilers don't do well this playoffs, injuries will probably have played a role. Goaltending and lack of desire to get an upgrade probably will play a role. The lack of defensive upgrades throughout the season, or at least retaining what you had, CC, Broberg, any of the guys that got you, and Vinny Desharnais was there too. They had a lot of people left. Is there going to be enough, and there will be some cap room for them to spend this summer, is there going to be enough for them to make a real run at it? Because if next season ends like this, and let's say it... And there might be a guy who's a UFA.
You're out
You're
here.
talking about McDavid leaving.
Might be a guy who's a UFA who might be looking at this and going, and I know that his agent, his former agent, is the CEO. I've been told that many times.
Yeah.
I know that his junior coach is his NHL coach here. None of those guys play for the team.
You like making enemies, don't you?
I'm not trying to make an enemy in Edmonton. They already hate me. I'm from Toronto. They don't even need to hear what I have to say. They'd be like, "What? He wears blue and white? Fuck him." But I just
based on principle.
It's at a certain point, like Edmonton is spending every first round pick they possibly can at next year's trade deadline, right?
You think so? It's I mean, if they win the cup, I mean, who
doesn't matter.
Who gives a good gosh darn?
Yeah.
But if they don't win the cup, this is going to be a very uncomfortable summer.
If he doesn't sign an extension, it's going to be a story all year.
It's going to be a story as soon as like July 5th.
The Oilers, by the way, don't have a pick this season or next season in the first round. So they have the 2027 first round pick.
Okay.
If you're talking about trading picks.
Draisaitl to the Sharks. Yes, true.
Don't you think Draisaitl would have already talked to McDavid about that he's going to extend? Otherwise, he wouldn't have extended.
Yeah. I think McDavid's staying.
I think he got $14 million and turned into Oilers fan Leon.
You don't think somebody could have...
Let's go, Oil!
You don't think somebody could have given him $14 million somewhere else?
Oh, he would have got. He would have got more.
His favorite politician's Mark Carney, 100%.
He would have got more. He would have got more.
And before he was prime minister, he knew about him. Yes, because he only likes Oilers fans.
No, I think McDavid's staying.
I
think it's on a shorter term deal. I think that's a different conversation where, because like Austin signed the 5-year. I think McDavid the 4 years. So
5 then 4. Yeah.
I think McDavid probably does a 4-year or something. Like I feel like that makes a lot of sense. But I don't see the 8-year getting done. But like he's sticking around for a little bit more.
The leverage he has is that he's Connor McDavid. I think any other player, you're like, no, you have to sign an 8. And Connor goes, how about I do whatever Connor McDavid
How about
wants?
I sign this contract now, and then when the salary cap's $120 million, I'll sign for the max again then. Like, that makes a lot of
Connor
sense.
McDavid might be the first player to, forget 20, he might be the first player to make 25.
He's getting into, like, starter NBA territory.
Yeah.
Whoa,
He might be able to come off the bench.
Whoa, Chris Boucher over here.
All right, let's do the press conference. We are just a few days away from San Jose. Barracuda, Sharks, SDP. How cool is that?
Very.
Now, you get to come to the game and hang out with us, which I think is pretty neat as well. And there might be some discounts, Jesse Blake.
Yeah, we're doing a few different things. Wednesday, we got a Barracuda watch party with the whole team. Thursday, we got a meet and greet at the Sharks game. Friday, we got to watch a Steve Dangle podcast live at the SAP Center. You can meet us as well. And then Saturday, post-game interview with the broadcast team, which will be fun. And yeah, if you hit the link in the description, you'll see a little Linktree thing that'll show you a bunch of different discounts to the games that the Sharks have that week. So you can get discounted tickets. It's the Steve Dangle podcast special offer for Sharks fans in the area. I have the one open for the Leafs-Sharks game on the 27th. So yeah, hit that link in the description. Get some discounted tickets to the Sharks.
And you will see the truth in action, right, Steve?
The truth! I'm so ready to see the truth up close and in person.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
That game is always fun when you go through the NBA players who make more than Connor McDavid. And it's like, oh, that guy's nobody.
The answer is more than you would think.
Yeah, and not names you would even like consider.
No.
So we'll get there. We'll get there one of these days.
I can't listen.
This tiny league.
If I can't have the Sidney Crosby trade conversation, I at least want to have the Connor McDavid free agency conversation. And if he signs July 1st, the extension, you could rub it in my face, but at least give me this. It's fun.
All right.
Everybody always talks about contracts in Toronto Maple Leafs.
Paul666 on Discord sent us this picture.
The number.
It is a Leafs jersey. On the back, printed on this Leafs jersey, it says, reserves for Conn Smythe 67 winner. Is printed along the entire back of the jersey. So, I don't know who got this printed for you or how you did this, but I don't think Real Sports does this.
Well, so reserved for the next Leafs Conn Smythe winner.
Yeah.
By the way, last year's Conn Smythe winner did not win the cup. Just throwing that out there.
Is that stored? That kind of looks like Real Sports.
No, they're at Jay's shop.
Oh, Jay's shop.
Those are Jay's gear, right?
Mm-hmm. Wait.
So
they wore this to a Jays game?
I don't know the context of why they're wearing this.
What do you think of the jersey?
I'm gonna read what they said. And actually,
where was the jersey made?
Actually, I want to know.
We have some info on that.
All right, let's go.
It's in their message, actually.
Let's go.
I thought Steve may appreciate this based on his feelings of late.
What? Sorry.
All right, segment over.
Go ahead.
Paul, fuck you.
I always say
This is not intended to be hopeful. It's a statement about being tired of early exits, and I'm not putting one of our current players' names on my back until they can do the thing.
Damn.
Please discuss. By the way, shout out to the guys at Real Sports for helping getting this done.
Oh,
wow.
now that's
Why-
customer service.
Why did Real Sports do this? First
Because
of all?
I'm telling you, the Leafs are self-aware.
Yeah.
Have I told the story of this team is ruining my life?
Let me just finish the message here.
Okay.
A young lad waiting for his sweater was impressed. How did you even come up with that? To which I responded, years of pain and disappointment.
Yeah, correct. That is correct.
Steve, do you have thoughts?
When I wanted to make the book cover for This Team Is Ruining My Life, I wanted to wear a Leafs jersey on the cover, and I had to get the Leafs' permission. And the Leafs told me, sounds good. What's the book called? And I had to tell them.
Yep.
And they went, okay. And they let me do it. So, like, they're not completely out to lunch. They've read the papers. They know that they haven't won since 2 years before the moon landing. So, like, I don't know. And also the dude paid for it. Why not?
I wonder, like, I assume you pay by letter. So just like this must have been an expensive buy.
I think
know
it's
how you
by
pay.
plate. I don't know.
Is it by plate? So there's 1, 2, 3 plates there plus the 67.
Plus, you'd have to get a reduced size 67. So you'd probably have to get a kid's 67, right?
Why the numbers are so tiny?
Well, yeah.
Do you have a Pacioretty jersey I can mutilate?
I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you would go to this length for this jersey. So kudos to you, Paul666. Adam, do we want to talk about your most hated event that's ever taken place?
All-Star game.
It's even worse than that.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Watching the draft on television.
I'm very happy that we didn't tell you about this until this very moment a couple of days ago when I texted about it. But the Chicago Steel, how they ref appreciation night. And I just want your feelings on what went down at Fox Valley Ice Arena in Chicago. We have the tweet here. It took place on March 7th, 2025. It was rooting for the refs for Ref Appreciation Night tonight. They tweeted on that night. And here they are, the refs are on the game day image. It is the 4 refs. And the 2 refs, 2 linesmen in the Chicago Steel game. Adam, how did you feel about this?
I love it. Those are hardworking, blue-collar refs. They're USHL refs. They work really hard. They probably live out of a suitcase. They're doing this because they love it, right? When do you ever hear of the USHL referees picking on an entire team for a year after an incident? When do you ever hear about USHL referees and linesmen fake dropping a puck 3 or 4 times during a very key face-off moment? When do you ever hear
all the
about
time? You didn't hear about the incident?
What, tell me about the incident.
No, I made it up.
Exactly. These guys, they're not the enemy, okay? But you get up into that top echelon there, and I don't even think all those guys are the enemy. But I would say the referee lobby.
Oh, damn.
The woke referee mind virus. Okay? The radical ref wing is what I call
Adam,
it.
the radical reft was right there.
Oh, what radical reft? I thought reft wing was pretty funny.
Both of them. Solid.
No.
That's
Only
where you
mine
run
is-
into
is
issues.
good.
They get into the top levels and then they get corrupted. And we can't bring them back. So these guys, they deserve this.
You like these guys?
Yeah.
Underrated part of this photo. 3 good mustaches.
Strong mustaches. Also, I like the fact that their referee jerseys are a little different. You can actually tell like the refs from the linesmen a little bit better.
Yeah. No,
like
it's I like the chevrons.
Yeah.
Chevrons are good.
I'm into it.
I am a huge fan.
I also
They're kind of
like
like
the word chevron.
Raptors ref jerseys.
They are. They
Oh,
look exactly
wow.
like Raptors ref jerseys. You're right.
North.
Nor, yeah,
Where are they from?
North. Up. Just say up. Oh, U and P.
Do you want to end on somebody who has a bone to pick with Craig Berube and Holmberg?
Yeah. Let's go.
Give
it to me.
Because we didn't really dive deep into the lineup stuff with the Leafs, so we can end on this.
Well,
Holmberg's the free space. What are we doing
here?
here?
Let's be quick on this one because we got things to do. But Dimitri writes, now I realize this is going to sound demeaning, but I don't want it to come off that way. But when will Craig Berube stop rewarding Holmberg for good? Rewarding Holmberg for good play at the expense of the bottom six. Max Domi and Nick Robertson being on the line together is generally a good idea, and I like it. Why can't Lawton center that line instead of being relegated to the fourth line? And then there's some other stuff about Max.
I don't hate that.
What do you think about that line?
I like your idea of Lawton between Domi and Robertson. Every coach has a guy. With Holmberg, I'm like, whenever a coach has a guy, I try very hard to see it. I'm like, okay, there's obviously something. He draws penalties well. He grinds. He's a little bit more physical than he gets credit for. He's decently defensively responsible, but like in terms of just like ability to do things.
Are you frustrated?
Ability to make anything happen.
Like offensively, you're talking.
Anything.
Well, he can do defensive stuff.
Anything. I don't see it.
Okay. Can I counterpoint you?
No.
Okay.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Go ahead.
I would say that if you're going to have a coach, have a guy. And to me, Pontus Holmberg, I think there's a theory here, okay? But I'm gonna go on yours for a second. If you're gonna have a coach, have a guy. At least the guy's paid $850,000.
That's fair.
The Toronto
I'm surprised they haven't extended him. To be honest,
Keefe and Dubas's guy was Alex Kerfoot. He cost $3.5 million against a cap that was much more depressed than this one.
He's got a way higher end than Pontus Holmberg.
Understood, but he's also got a lot of money against the cap versus what Pontus Holmberg does. And I would say, based on their percentages against the cap, both of them, if we're going to look at it the way the NHL teams do, I'm okay with it. And here's the deal. Pontus Holmberg is the guy that is available under the cap currently. I feel like I'm going to, and I have no insight on this. Wouldn't it be crazy if Max Pacioretty just got magically healthy for game one and then they could activate him when there's no cap? Because they can't activate him right now.
Is Alan on speaker?
No, he's not.
No,
he's not. Alan and I do not talk about that stuff, but I will say this. Alan and I did record with Serge Savard this morning, and that was really cool.
How do you even negotiate that contract as Holmberg's agent? Like, well, my client is second, third, fourth line wing center. Who
he played. No, you have to spin that as the agent. You have to be like, you have put him everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of player can you play everywhere? Can you do that with, and you just bring out like, can you do that with David Kampf? No, I don't think you can.
Yeah. All right. Now listen, he may not have been able to score on the fourth line, but he could also not score on the third line.
Right.
But you bump him up to the second line, you put him with really good players, he still can't even kind of score. I forget where I was going with this. Give us $5 million.
Steve.
What?
He has 6 goals this year.
How many on goalies? I think the answer's 2.
All right.
It might be 3.
All right.
Sorry, I was looking this up. I just wanted to get this out before the end of the show. Next year, Leon Draisaitl will be making $14 million against the cap. That would tie him for 127th in the NBA.
Who's there?
I don't know who this player is, but they're on Atlanta. Onyeka Okongwu. And right behind Jordan Clarkson, Mitchell Robertson, Luke Kennard, Dorian Finney-Smith.
We should make you say more basketball.
You should not.
Remember?
Isaiah Stewart. I know that one. I know that guy. Max Strus. Okongwu.
Yeah. By the way,
Tavius Caldwell-Pope.
Pontus Holmberg. Pontus
KCP.
Holmberg, time for 6th on the Leafs, or 10th on the Leafs in goals. What say you? 10th on the Leafs in goals.
He's fine.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.